Welcome to Fed Snacks, serving up bite-sized insights from former Feds. On today's menu, Erika Dinnie, former Associate CIO for Digital Infrastructure Technologies at the General Services Administration. She is now Vice President of Federal Strategy and Planning at MetTel.
So I joined MetTel in, I think, April of 2025, and really enjoying that switch from federal government into industry. I'm about, I think, 8 months in now.
We've really seen a shift into, accelerating and improving that relationship between the federal government and the industry and the private sector. So do you mind talking a little bit about what that transition looked like for you and kind of what you were looking for as you moved from the public to private sector?
For me, I was looking for, an area where I think I could use my skill set. Certainly have a great client relationship building skill set, organizational design background, as well as IT and infrastructure and operations, and love to bring all that together. But I think ultimately it was really important that I found, an organization that I think can contribute to the federal government and some of the goals that they're trying to do. That was really important to me. And I think in general, your question around industry and I think the federal government have similar goals. They're both in business to create value for that end stakeholder. It's really that difference between being an order taker and a solution provider. And, it's one thing to take the order and service a customer and deliver a service as ordered, but it's another to really listen to your client, understand what they might need, do some proactive thinking.
I think that leads right into this next question of how are you and MetTel supporting the federal government in these initiatives to modernize and to, again, create this whole of government. And even now we're hearing this whole of society approach to again, modernization, cybersecurity, all of the things that are in this tech realm.
Strictly speaking, on the federal government side, I think there are, a number of areas where most of our federal government agencies are looking to modernize infrastructure services, for example. We are a fully managed solutions provider. We try to shy away from the order taker. We certainly will take orders, but we're also looking at here's where we think we could come in, but it's not just to modernize IT, but it's also to reduce costs. And we specialize in that area too. Of we can lower costs, overall 30-40%, while you're modernizing at the same time. And so that is an area that I think have specialized in. We certainly talk to clients about that a lot and try to map out for them where we think that they could do that. So I particularly in this area and with this administration, that certainly resonates. And so those are the conversations we're having with folks. It's not just about modernizing, right? It is also about adding that security. It is also about adding in, there's obviously a push for AI components and that move to AI. And what does that mean? Not only delivering a solution, but a solution that, again, unlocks a little bit more value than maybe you had before through AI components.
What are some pieces of advice that you would give to feds who are maybe considering that transition, or to feds who are currently in that position and are looking to make that jump into the private sector?
One, I think the first thing is reaching out and establishing your network. And so keeping current with the relationships that you've had in the past, having those conversations. And I can tell you in my own journey as well, I certainly called on so many folks that I had known, folks I hadn't talked to in 6 or 7 years. And, they all said, yeah, absolutely, I'll take some time for you. So most people will take the time to take that phone call. But the other piece that's really important is just make sure you're current in your skill set. You understand the value that you create and the value that you could create in another organization. And do some thinking about what that is. Some folks might be concerned about moving to industry. And, as I said before, in terms of, I think that private sector and public sector have the same goal. So at the end of the day, I still think, I still have an opportunity to serve federal agencies here at MetTel, like I did at GSA, for example. And don't forget that you can do that in a variety of different ways. It doesn't always have to be just the public sector. There is so much opportunity out there, and be willing to think about how that just might look different in your day to day.
Erika, thank you so much for joining us today on the program.
Thank you.
For more Fed Snacks, head to govciomedia.com.